Welcome back to Golden Years Wisdom. If there's one thing we all value as we navigate our golden years, it's our independence. And maintaining that independence often comes down to two things: our mobility and our vision. Now it's true, as we age, our eyes change. We reach for brighter lights to read the morning paper. We hold the restaurant menu a little further away. These small adjustments are normal. They're just the wear and tear we expect. But here is the truth many people don't realize. Your eyes are just the camera. Your brain is the projectionist. If the projectionist falls asleep or starts mixing up the reels, it doesn't matter how perfect the camera lens is. Today we're going to discuss 5 specific visual warning signs. These aren't signs you need new glasses. These are signs that the processing center, your brain, may be in serious trouble. Recognizing these could save your eyesight, and more importantly, it could save your life. Imagine you are sitting in your favorite chair, looking out at the living room. Suddenly, it's as if someone pulled a heavy curtain across the left side of your vision, not in one eye, but in both eyes. You can no longer see anything to your left. This is called homonymous hemianopia. It's a big, clinical term, but the symptom is unmistakable. Many of us have heard that a curtain over the eye could mean a detached retina. That is true, but that usually affects just one eye. When the same side of vision is missing in both eyes, the problem isn't in the orbit, it's in the brain. This happens when a stroke cuts off blood supply to the occipital lobe, the part of your brain that processes sight. The eyes are working perfectly, but the brain can't process the information coming from the right side of the world. If this happens suddenly, do not wait for it to pass. Do not drive yourself to the eye doctor. This is a brain emergency. You need to get to a hospital immediately. Now the second warning sign is one that is often dismissed because it doesn't cause blindness, but it is deeply unsettling. It's called visual snow. If you aren't familiar with it, imagine the world looked like an old analog television stuck between channels. Millions of tiny flickering dots covering everything you see. It's there when you look at a wall. It's there when you look at the night sky. It might even be there when you close your eyes. Some people experience this mildly their whole lives, but if this static suddenly appears or significantly worsens, you need to pay attention. This isn't dry eye. It isn't a cataract. Visual snow syndrome is increasingly understood by neurologists as a sign of hyperexcitability in the visual cortex. The part of your brain that should be showing you a calm, clear image is firing off random signals, creating static. If your world suddenly looks like a grainy photograph, don't just buy new reading glasses. Mention this to your doctor. It is a clue that points to the brain, not the eye. Number 3 is arguably the most deceptive warning sign on our list. It is known medically as Amaurosis Fugax, which translates to fleeting darkness. Imagine you are reading a book. Suddenly, a dark shade pulls down over one eye. It blocks out the light completely. You panic for a second, but then, just as quickly as it appeared, the shade lifts. Vision returns to normal. You rub your eye and think maybe it was just a spasm and you go back to your day. Please do not make that mistake. This shade is often caused by a tiny piece of plaque or a clot. It travels up the carotid artery, the main highway of blood to your brain, and gets stuck temporarily in the blood vessel feeding your retina, the ophthalmic artery. Because it passes, we convince ourselves we are fine. But here is the reality. Amaurosis Fugax is a classic warning sign of a transient ischemic attack, or a mini-stroke, specific to the eye. It is the brain's way of saying the carotid artery is diseased. It is a ticking time bomb. If you experience a temporary shade over one eye, even if it lasts only 60 seconds, you need a vascular checkup immediately. You have a window of opportunity to prevent a major, life-altering stroke. The fourth sign is not about blurriness or darkness, it's about awareness. This symptom is often noticed by a spouse or a family member before the individual notices it themselves. Let me paint a picture. You are sitting at the dinner table. Your spouse puts your plate down, but you only eat the food on the right side of the plate. Later, walking down the hall, you consistently bump your left shoulder into the door frame. If someone stands on your left side and talks to you, you might not respond. Not because you are ignoring them, but because, to your brain, they don't exist. This is called hemispatial neglect. It's not that your eyes aren't seeing the left side. Your eyes are working. The light is hitting the retina. But the parietal lobe, The part of the brain responsible for attention has been damaged, usually by a stroke. It simply stops paying attention to one side of reality. If you or your loved one starts ignoring one side of the world, bumping into things, missing food, or shaving only one side of the face, this is a massive neurological red flag. It requires immediate assessment. Our final topic today is a sensitive one, seeing things that aren't there. It's easy to jump to conclusions and associate hallucinations with mental decline, but we need to look closer at what you are seeing. There is a benign condition called Charles-Bonnet syndrome. This happens when someone has significant vision loss, like from macular degeneration. The brain, starved of visual input, creates its own images. People with this often see patterns, faces, or even children playing in the house. The key here is that they usually know it isn't real. This is an ocular issue. But if the hallucinations are different, if they are brief, colorful geometric shapes that flash in the corner of your eye, or if they are complex scenes that feel real and confuse you, they could be visual seizures. These are caused by abnormal electrical activity in the brain. It's a different mechanism entirely. If you experience new visual hallucinations, especially if they are accompanied by a feeling of déjà vu, a rising sensation in your stomach, or confusion, you need a neurologist, not a psychiatrist. These could be focal-aware seizures originating in the visual cortex. So let's take a moment to hold these 5 signs in our memory. First, the curtain, losing the same side of vision in both eyes. Second, the static, persistent visual snow or flickering dots. Third, the shade, temporary painless blackout over one eye. Fourth, the neglect, bumping into things on one side or ignoring half your world. And fifth, the visions, new or strange visual hallucinations. Our eyes are precious, but they are just the messengers. If the message is garbled, distorted, or missing, we must look to the source. If you or someone you love experiences any of these signs, remember the golden rule. Don't drive to the optometrist. Go to the emergency room. Tell them you need a neurologist and an MRI of the brain. Thank you for trusting Golden Years wisdom with your health today. If this video helped you, please share it with a friend. It could be the warning sign they need to see. As always, this information is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.